Well, Charlotte Motor Speedway is in the books until the playoffs when we go to the Charlotte Roval. We've got 4 incredible races at Charlotte Motor Speedway to talk about, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Welcome into the fifth turn, everybody. All right, everybody, how's it going? My name is CJ Ward. Welcome into the fifth turn. As always, you can follow the show on Twitter at Fifth Turn. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/The Fifth Turn. You can send an email to thefifthturn@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with me that way. You can even follow me on my personal Twitter, which is at CJWard_24. 4 races to dive into today. We've been at Charlotte Motor Speedway all week, fighting the rain, as has been sort of the story of 2020. One of many stories of 2020 has been NASCAR fighting the weather. But yeah, 4 races down at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Coke 600, then the trucks, the Xfinity, and one final shorter cup race. And the Coke 600 was not quite as entertaining as the others, but all 4 races were really, really solid. So we got a lot to dive into today. I don't really have any pressing news to go over, so let's go ahead and dive into all of the NASCAR action this week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hopefully my stumbling over my words will not be the story of the episode. Let's go ahead and start off with the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, NASCAR's longest night. In fact, this went so far longer that this was actually the longest race in Cup Series history. So there's another one for the history books for 2020. Very sobering pre-race ceremonies. NASCAR has always done an incredible job of honoring the military and honoring the fallen soldiers during this race weekend. But this pre-race ceremony was something special. Listening to bagpipes play Amazing Grace, and then the 21-gun salute, hearing taps, all of the pre-race ceremonies. Also one of the most respectful deliveries of the national anthem I think I've ever heard, and it was very sobering and reminded everybody of what Memorial Day is all about. This race actually ended on Memorial Day. It went over into the morning just a little bit. But remembering that Memorial Day is not just about a long race, and there's much more significance to it than that. Obviously, with this being such a long race, it was 4 stages as opposed to the regular 3. And on the front row was Kurt Busch and Jimmy Johnson. Kurt Busch out-qualified the 48 at pretty much the last minute, and those 2 cars started on the front row. Right on the pace laps, Denny Hamlin lost a piece of ballast that came out of the rear end of the car. It's like a 35-ish pound, almost like a brick. This thing is so big and so heavy, and that is a pretty hefty penalty. After the race, Denny Hamlin lost for 4 races a suspension of his crew chief, car chief, and lead engineer. So pretty substantial penalty for the 11 team there. But that just put him 6 laps down at the start of the race, and he was never really able to recover from that. Busch was leading over Johnson for quite a while in the early stages of this race, but we had a competition caution at lap 20. After that, we had a huge, massive save for Jimmy Johnson in the 48. He just got loose off the 8 of Tyler Reddick and almost slid up into the wall, managed to save it, lost a lot of track position, but battled back in a big way. The Chevys were extraordinarily strong. The Fords were a bit off at the start of the race, but as we'll see over the course of the race, they were able to battle back into victory lane. Again, as has been one of the stories of 2020, the rain came and we had to go under the red flag for a pretty substantial delay. When we went back racing, finally out to the lead jumped arguably probably the best driver and car in the series right now, the 88 of Alex Bowman. He got out to the lead. He had a big slide, started battling with his teammate Chase Elliott in the 9, got back out clear to the lead. Another massive save for the 95 of Christopher Bell. Got contact from the 12 of Ryan Blaney, but just never quit driving the thing. And I think he had a very similar save at, I believe, Las Vegas, where he just got completely sideways into the corner, kept driving it, saved it, and drove it onto pit road. But pretty incredible stuff there from Christopher Bell, who it appears is finally beginning to put the pieces together. That team, obviously, at the start of this race, had not even gotten a top 20 yet, and they're finally starting to put together some decent runs. We had a caution for Clinton Boyer in the 14, who went unbelievably hard into the wall, and it was a pretty big fire and smoke show as well, but very severe contact there. Stage ended under caution with Alex Bowman taking the stage 1 victory. On the restart of stage 2, 88 jumped back out to the lead. The 43 of Bubba Wallace lost his brakes and had to be done for the day. Alex Bowman was just absolutely dominating this race in the early stages. Then we had a little incident with the guy whose picture appears behind me back here, Ross Chastain. Martin Truex Jr., I don't remember if he was in the lead just yet. I don't think he was, but he was trying to lap the 77 of Ross Chastain and just was not quite clear when he tried to complete the slide job and almost ran the 77 up and into the wall. Ross was not too happy about it and made a very aggressive move, almost like Kyle Busch years ago in the Truck Series where he took out Ron Hornaday under caution. It was that same kind of incident almost, where Ross got right to the back bumper of the 19 and got him wiggling just a little bit. Very adamant show of displeasure there from Ross Chastain. Almost spun him, but everybody was able to continue. Alex Bowman took the checkered flag again in stage 2. And then at the halfway point of the race, NASCAR, as has been their custom, brought everybody back down pit road, parked for a 30-second moment of silence, again, to remember the significance of Memorial Day. We in the early part of stage 3, we had a pretty epic 4-car lead battle between the 88 of Bowman, the 19 of Truex, the 24 of Byron, and the 20 of Jones. Really, really good lead battle there. Martin Truex Jr. was able to get out to the lead as the lap traffic just slowed Alex Bowman down just enough. We had a caution for the 42 of Matt Kenseth, who spun and hit the wall very, very hard. Who, after that first race at Darlington where Kenseth got a top 10, that team has struggled, and it seems like every single race he's spinning or he's crashing or he's not running very well. So they had an incredible race that first time out at Darlington, and then they've just struggled since. So not quite sure what's going on with the 42 team, but hopefully they can get it figured out. The 22 of Logano, the 4 of Harvick, and the 9 of Elliott all stayed out, but the 4 and the 9 dropped pretty fast on that restart. What an incredible save for Alex Bowman. A massive, massive slide, but again, just kept driving the thing and kept it straight. Joey Logano took the checkered flag in stage 3. And then on that next restart, Matt DiBenedetto got out to the lead and was able to hold off Martin Truex Jr. As Joey Logano had an issue and started falling through the pack. Jimmy Johnson was able to get up to P2 as Martin Truex Jr. was able to take the lead from DiBenedetto. The racing was certainly better in stage 4 than it had been all throughout the race. It was getting pretty intense for a while there. And then we had a caution for Joey Gase, who was in one of the Rick Ware racing cars, which this changes everything because we were talking about pit strategy and all that. It was pretty late in the race. Jimmy Johnson won the race off pit road, and then Keselowski was able to beat him on the restart. And then with an incredible move, Chase Elliott was able to get to the lead, and he took off and almost got himself the win in the Coca-Cola 600, but unfortunately with just 2 laps to go, we all know what happened. William Byron blew a left rear tire, spun, bringing out the caution just before Chase Elliott took the white flag. And the strategy call that everybody's been talking about, for some reason, Alan Gustafson made the call to bring Chase Elliott down pit road with just 2 laps to go. Him being the leader, everybody else was going to do the opposite of what he did. And I guess they thought, okay, if we if we pit, everybody else is going to stay out on old tires. We'll have fresh tires. Maybe we'll have a shot at it. If we don't, everybody else behind us is going to pit, and we're going to be sitting ducks on old tires. Maybe. I don't know. I'm with Larry Mack. I just think 2 laps to go. Why even chance it? But Chase pitted and gave the lead over to Keselowski, who beat Johnson to the restart and won his first Coca-Cola 600 in overtime. Chase Elliott got back out to third and then second, as we'll see in a moment, but just was not quite enough to close the deal. Phenomenal run for Jimmy Johnson at first. Again, we'll see in a moment. He finished P2. And that car has speed. That 48 car has speed. I think kind of the way that Hendrick Motorsports shakes out right now, Alex Bowman is probably the greatest, probably the best in the series right now. Chase Elliott is not that far off, probably consistently 3rd to 5th place car. Jimmy Johnson is maybe 10th to 12th, somewhere around there. And William Byron, it's not that he's that far off. He has the speed. It's just that he's back to having the luck of his rookie season, which is basically every race we're either crashing or we're having a bad pit stop or we're just running 20th. We got speed, but we can't seem to put a race together. So, but Hendrick Motorsports is back officially in a big, big way. And Jimmy Johnson was able to finish second, but unfortunately, NASCAR found the rear end of that car out of alignment. They allow a pretty wide margin of tolerance, and it was outside of even that. I don't think it gave him any kind of competitive advantage, but it was illegal anyway, and so he was disqualified, credited with a 40th place finish. So that was unfortunate for sure. After the race, disregarding social distancing, of course, but it was very, very cool after the many issues that they have had the last several weeks. Who was the first guy to come over, put his hand on Chase Elliott's shoulder and comfort him a little bit after that finish? Kyle Busch. And that was pretty dang cool, I thought. But overall, I mean, it wasn't the most entertaining race, but it was a solid race. And congratulations to Brad Keselowski for getting basically the last crown jewel except for the Daytona 500. He's won almost everything there is in this sport. And it was very cool to see him get another victory, maybe increasing his chances of staying with Team Penske. I know he has said that's what he wants to do. He said on an interview recently, it's been an honor to add to the legacy of Team Penske, and I hope I can continue doing that for years to come. So he wants to stay with Team Penske, but of course he's keeping his options open for his free agency this year. Let me go ahead and run through the finishing results as soon as I can pull up them on my phone. Here we go. Brad Keselowski takes the win. Chase Elliott second. Third is Ryan Blaney. Fourth, Kyle Busch. Fifth, Kevin Harvick. Sixth, Martin Truex Jr. Seventh, Kurt Busch. Eighth is Tyler Reddick. Ninth, Christopher Bell. Solid top 10 for Levine family, as I mentioned earlier. Chris Buescher, 10th. 11th is Eric Jones. 12th is Cole Custer. 13th is Joey Logano. 14th, Austin Dillon. 15th, Eric Almirola. 16th, John Hunter Nemechek, who is really outperforming what Front Row Motorsports should be able to give him. So kudos to my man John Hunter back there. Matt DiBenedetto 17th. 18th is Michael McDowell. 19th, Alex Bowman. 20th, William Byron. Ross Chastain 21st. 22nd, Ryan Preece. 23rd, Corey LaJoie. 24th, Ricky Stenhouse. 25th, Ty Dillon. 26th, Matt Kenseth. 27th, Ryan Newman, after losing 2 batteries in one race. Awful luck for him. Daniel Suarez, 28th. 29th, Denny Hamlin. 30th, Brennan Poole. 31st, Greg Alding. 32nd, BJ McLeod. 33rd, Garrett Smithley. 34th, Timmy Hill. 35th, Quinn Houff. 36th, Joey Gase. JJ Yaley, 37th. Bubba Wallace, 38th. Clint Boyer, 39th. And 40th is Jimmy Johnson. So that is the first Cup Series race, the Coca-Cola 600. Now let's go ahead and move on to the Xfinity Series. All right, now moving on to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Apologies, this episode is going to be quite long, but we've got 4 races to dive into, and so let's go ahead and get started. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Charlotte. Ross Chastain and Brandon Jones started on the front row due to the random draw, and Chastain jumped out immediately on the restart, or on the initial start of the race. He looked dominant in these early stages. We had an early caution for the 52 of Cody Vanderwall getting into the fence. BJ MacLeod was really impressive in this race, running up inside the top 10 in the 6 for JD Motorsports. Really, really impressive for him. Another competition caution on lap 20. Ross had led every single lap up to this point. Kyle Busch, after starting towards the back, was able to get up to second on this restart. We had another caution for the 52 of Vanderwall. And then we had a great lead battle, Chastain versus Busch. Busch was able to get to the lead. Ross was able to beat Kyle Busch on just about every restart over the course of this race. And it took Kyle 10 to 15 laps to be able to make the pass. It was really great racing. He was able to get out. Kyle Busch was able to get out to the lead, win the first stage. In the pit stops after stage 1, Jeffrey Earnhardt, driving the 0 for JD Motorsports, dragged his jack around the track. And then we had Ryan Sieg in the 39 in the garage with the hood up, having some kind of mechanical issue there. Chastain was able to clear Busch for the lead on the restart, and he was doing a great job holding off the 54. Chase Briscoe was able to get around Kyle Busch in the 54. Epic battle there. Lap traffic was not in Ross Chastain's favor, and was able to hold Chastain up just enough to get Busch back to the lead. Then Kyle Busch was able to win stage number 2. Once again, Ross Chastain able to get to the lead on the restart. Brandon Jones to third. Kyle Busch took a slide job to be able to take the lead back, and he was gone, absolutely gone. And then a lot of trouble on the entry to pit road. Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, several others caught speeding on pit road, which really kind of shook up the running order just a little bit. We had a caution for the 66 of Timmy Hill blowing an engine, which caught Ross Chastain and Chase Briscoe into the wall. Briscoe had a ton of damage. Ross was kind of able to buff out a little bit on Ross's car, but they probably ran over the oil spilled from Timmy Hill's engine and got themselves in the fence. But thankfully, with these composite bodies on the Xfinity cars, one bump into the fence is not really going to hurt you all that much, as we saw with Chase Briscoe versus Kyle Busch at Darlington last week. It was almost like the 98 got faster after hitting the wall. But Austin Cindric in the 22 was able to get out to the lead over the 11 of Justin Haley on that restart. Really close, intense race among the series regulars. You get the regulars fighting it out, and it's great racing. You throw Kyle Busch in there and put him in the lead, and he's gone. Noah Gragson was able to get out to P2. We had another caution for the 98 of Chase Briscoe getting in the fence again. Then another caution immediately as Austin Hill and Jeremy Clements crashed together very, very hard. Kyle Busch restarted third, and I'm sitting here thinking there ain't no way he doesn't win this. We had another immediate caution on that restart. Justin Allgaier in the 7 looked like he misjudged the distance a little bit. Turned to the 21 of Myatt Snyder, and it definitely was that way. The 21 was holding his line, and the 7 turned him. Kyle Busch got out to the lead with 10 to go. I thought for sure it was over. Then we had another caution as the 18 of Riley Herbst basically ran Justin Haley into the fence. Herbst spun and collected Brandon Jones, his teammate, which set up another restart. And then we had a huge wreck where the 44 of Tommy Joe Martins took one heck of a hit. The 9 of Noah Gragson got loose and spun. He collected Harrison Burton and Brandon Jones, who then spun into Tommy Joe Martins, who crashed off the hood of Justin Haley. And then the 44 and the 11 both got into the wall very, very hard. Justin Haley looked pretty dazed after that wreck. We were all praying hard they were okay. And on that final restart, Kyle Busch was able to get the lead from Austin Cindric. Daniel Hemrick was actually out being able to get to P2 and was able to finish there. But Rowdy, Kyle Busch gets his 97th Xfinity Series win after that last lap pass over Austin Cindric. And again, Hemrick to P2. It was kind of a mess, especially that final stage with everybody just kind of losing their minds and crashing together. It was a mess, but it was one heck of a race, and thoroughly enjoyed it. So let me go ahead and run through the finishing order of the Xfinity race. Again, Kyle Busch takes the win. Daniel Hemrick second. If my phone would cooperate, I could show you the rest. Austin Cindric was third, I believe. Here we go. Come on, phone. Yes, Kyle Busch first. Second, Daniel Hemrick. Third, Austin Cindric. Fourth, Ross Chastain. Fifth, Justin Allgaier. Sixth, Brett Moffitt. Again, broke both legs over the offseason, or over the break, and did not miss a race. Michael Annett, 7th. 8th, Brandon Brown. 9th, 8th, Brandon Brown. I didn't realize that. Good, amazing run for Brandon Brown, finishing top 10. 9th, Harrison Burton. 10th, Myatt Snyder. 11th, Noah Gragson. 12th, Riley Herbst. 13th, Dylan Bassett. 14th, Josh Williams. 15th, Jesse Little. 16th, Alex LeBay. 17th, BJ McLeod. Bailey Curry, 18th. Joe Graff Jr., 19th. 20th is Chase Briscoe. 21st, Mason Massey. 22nd, Chad Fincham. 23rd, Vinnie Miller. 24th, Tommy Joe Martins. Jeffrey Earnhardt, 25th. Joe Nemechek, 26th. Brandon Jones, 27th. Ryan Sieg, 28th. Justin Haley, 29th. Matt Mills, 30th. Garrett Smithley, 31st, who was driving the 07 for SS Greenlight. Jamie Clements, 32nd. Austin Hill, 33rd. Timmy Hill, 34th. Cody Vanderwall, 35th. Jeff Green, 36th. And 37th is Colby Howard. So that was the Xfinity Series race. Again, Kyle Busch taking the victory, his 97th of his career, and he is still holding to his claim that he will retire from the Xfinity Series once he gets win number 100. So we will hold him to that here at the fifth turn. So let's go ahead and move from here into the race that everyone was talking about, the return of the trucks. All right, yes, the race that everyone was talking about, the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series, is finally back. We've waited a long time for this. I've said here on this show constantly, truck racing is pretty much the best racing in NASCAR. It really doesn't get much better than the trucks. And boy, they did not prove me wrong. It was a joy to have the trucks back. This was the first race of the bounty against Kyle Busch. Obviously, Kevin Harvick and Marcus Lemonis putting up $50,000 apiece to any Cup regular who could go down to the trucks and beat Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch entering this race with a streak of 7 straight Truck Series victories dating back to the middle of 2018. In fact, he had not been beat by a Cup regular in the Truck Series since 2015. So this was a big deal. And this bounty was open to 3 Cup Series drivers who entered this truck race. Chase Elliott driving the 24 for GMS Racing, John Hunter Nemechek in the 8 for Nemco, and Brennan Poole in the 30 for On Point Motorsports. Starting on the pole for this race was Ben Rhodes in the 99 for ThorSport, and he jumped out to the lead on the initial start, but Austin Hill in the 16 did not take long to overtake him. Jordan Anderson in the 3 was slow early on in this race. They had some kind of tire issue, I believe. The bounty hunters were basically, they all started in the rear due to the random draw, and they were working their way through the field very, very quickly. We had a competition caution on lap 15. Only a few people pitted. Most of them stayed out, but it jumbled up the field pretty good. Austin Hill was able to get back to the lead on the restart. Ross Chastain was in this race, driving, interesting number for Nice Motorsports, the 42. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And he was making some pretty aggressive moves, got himself into the 2nd position, then took the lead away from Austin Hill. Really, really solid moves from Ross Chastain. Really good battle towards the back of the top 10, I think, between teammates Brett Moffitt and Tyler Ankrum for GMS. Ross Chastain wins the first stage. Zane Smith was kind of one of the stories of the day. That young rookie in the 21 for GMS Racing ran a handful of races for Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series last year, getting a full-time effort in the trucks this year, and he was incredibly impressive this week. And top 5 at the time of my making a note about him. Rafael Lessard in the 4 for KBM jumped out to the lead. Then Matt Crafton in the 88 flew by him to take the lead. Chase Elliott had gotten himself up into the top 5. Ross Chastain made a great save. He did make contact with the wall, and it pretty much ruined his day. It messed with the handling just enough to where he could never get that truck overly competitive again. Great save, and he didn't crash the thing, but he definitely hit the wall, and his competitive race was over at that point. Chase Elliott got out to the lead. We had 2 bounty hunters in the top 10, with John Hunter Nemechek up in 6th at this point. Again, Ross Chastain crazy loose. The handling just went away after that wall contact. It was very interesting. All week we had been talking about the high line being a place to be, but it seemed the low line was where drivers could make their moves in this race, and it was very interesting. Chase Elliott was absolutely gone at this point. The 42 of Chastain, the 23 of Brett Moffitt, old rivals there, putting up a heck of a fight. Chase Elliott took the stage to victory over Ben Rhodes and John Hunter Nemechek. Then Ben Rhodes got out to the lead on that restart, but Kyle Busch made an incredible move, jumped to the outside, took it away from him. The 38 of Todd Gilliland got squeezed into the wall and had a huge tire rub. The left front fender was crushed, but he wasn't pitting, and he managed to hang on to that truck, which was kind of incredible. Kyle Busch was gone at this point, mainly because Todd Gilliland, it cost him just enough speed when he got into the fence that he was holding up the entire field. We had a caution for the 52 of Stuart Friesen getting into the 33 of Jesse Iwuji, who then collected one of the bounty hunters, Brennan Poole, in the 30. Ross Chastain barely missed the thing. It was kind of crazy how close he was. Kyle Busch jumped out to the lead on that next restart, but Brett Moffitt in the 23 took it away from him, and we had a caution for, you guessed it, Natalie Decker, who got herself into the fence and collected Brennan Poole again. That next restart, they were pretty much even. Zane Smith made an incredible 3-wide move trying for the lead, but the 51 of Kyle Busch was able to get clear. Then we had another caution for the 40 of Garrett Smithley making his Nice Motorsports debut. He got into the wall pretty hard. Zane Smith took off on that next restart. Chase Elliott hanging right with him. Then we had another caution for Todd Gilliland, who basically got into the fence after contact from John Hunter. Zane Smith again jumps out on the restart. He and Johnny Sauter were side by side, beating and banging for the lead, and the 13 was able to take it away from him. Kyle Busch, super aggressive as always, basically the mid-20s to the top 5 in a couple of laps at this point. Great battle for the lead between Johnny Sauter, the 24 of Chase Elliott, and Zane Smith. The 24 was able to get to the lead, making a pretty incredible pass there. Then Zane Smith again, incredible pass around Rowdy, 3 wide to the bottom. Kyle Busch back to second, running Chase Elliott down after that battle with Zane Smith there. And this was where I was doing some speculation, because Kyle Busch has been in every single race, and he's always run the exact same line around the bottom through the corners all week, and he's gained so much ground on the leader when he's running second, running the bottom, like left side tires right against the line through the corners, when he's running second, and he's been able to gain ground and pass the leader every single time. And every single time, the leader has just been continuing to run whatever line they're running and letting Kyle Busch get to them. And it's almost like I'm sitting here going, come on, try something different, please. Vary your line, take his line away, do something different to try to hold him off. I was just, nobody had seemed to learn from Kyle Busch constantly running that same exact line. The 24 was better on the straightaways. The 51 was better in the corners. And then what cost Kyle Busch this race was the lap cars, or the lap trucks. Kyle Busch got stuck behind one of the lapped cars, and it just slowed him down so much that Tundra could never get back up to the 24. And Chase Elliott gets it done, takes the bounty in the first race it's offered. Absolutely incredible. Slight redemption there for Chase Elliott at being able to beat Kyle Busch straight up after everything that they've gone through the past couple of weeks. Again, KB just beat himself through traffic. Chase just never made a mistake. He just held his line, drove his race, and was very, very incredible. Again, Rowdy's streak of 7 straight Truck Series wins ends, and Chase Elliott, man, this was awesome. What did he do after he went over and grabbed the checkered flag? He took a bow and had a little fun at Kyle Busch's expense there, which was just plain awesome. Let me go ahead and run through the finishing order here. Chase Elliott takes the win. Kyle Busch second. Zane Smith third. Fourth is Brett Moffitt. Fifth, Sheldon Creed. Sixth, John Hunter Nemechek. Seventh, Johnny Sauter. Eighth, Ty Majeski. Great run for him. Austin Hill ninth. 10th is Ben Rhodes. 11th, Ross Chastain. 12th, Grant Enfinger. 13th, Tyler Ankrum. 14th, Christian Eckes. 15th, Rafael Lessard. 16th, Derek Kraus. 17th, Tate Fogelman. 18th, Cody Rohrbaugh. 19th, Austin Wayne Self. 20th, Jesse Little. 21st, Tanner Gray. 22nd, Timmy Hill. 23rd, Angela Ruck. 24th, Corbin Forrester. 25th, Spencer Boyd. 26th, Jennifer Jo Cobb. 27th, Natalie Decker. Bailey Curry is 28th. 29th is Clay Greenfield. 30th, Stuart Friesen. 31st, Jordan Anderson. Corey Roper, 32nd. TJ Bell, 33rd. Brian Doza, 34th. Matt Crafton, 35th. Garrett Smithley, 36th. Todd Gilliland, 37th. Brian Poole, 38th. Jesse Iwuji, 39th. And Spencer Davis, 40th after a transmission issue. Great race in the truck series. Love that the trucks are back. All right. 3 races down, 1 to go. Let's recap the final race of this week, the Cup Series racing Thursday night at Charlotte. All right, one final race to recap in this video. The Cup Series 500K race at Charlotte. Honestly, NASCAR is making a really good case, in my opinion, for these shorter 500K races, 310 miles. They're in my opinion, they're just long enough. Let's face it, NASCAR races are long. They're very, very long, and these races have been just long enough to keep our attention, but still have plenty of fall off, plenty of action. Plus, they're short enough that it drives the aggression up right from the get-go. So, honestly, I'm a fan of these 500K races. But let's go ahead and dive into it. Obviously, we were rain delayed until Thursday night. With the invert from Sunday, the front row was William Byron and Alex Bowman. Right on the get-go, Matt DiBenedetto got out to the lead, and he was flying in the early part of this race. But we had a big crash. The 00 of Quinn Houff, the 51 of Joey Gase, 53 of Garrett Smithley, and the 7 of Josh Bilicki all crashed together. It looked like Garrett Smithley just got into the side of Gase and triggered this whole crash. As many a tweet said, it was a very expensive day for Rick Ware Racing. 24 and 21 side by side for the lead. Byron finally clear as Bowman takes second away from DiBenedetto. Both front row motorsports cars, Michael McDowell and John Hunter Nemechek, up in the top 10 in the early part of this race. Yet again, competition caution, lap 20. The 24 of Byron and the 32 of Corey LaJoie made contact on pit road, which messed up William Byron's car just enough that it took him forever to be even remotely competitive again. Joey Logano was able to get to the lead on that restart. We had a caution. Again, Matt Kenseth had a spin while Keselowski was slow on the track. Both of them cut tires at the same time. And then we had to stop the race for weather yet again. We had a storm blowing through the area with lightning in the area, and NASCAR demands a 30-minute hold if there's a lightning strike in the area. After a lengthy delay, we were ready to refire. Joey Logano got out to the lead on that restart. Huge run for both RCR cars, Dillon and Reddick, down low. Ricky Stenhouse was very impressive in this race, running top 10, top 5 pretty much all day. It was a very good run for him. Big charge for Kevin Harvick. The top 4 were all Fords at this point. Joey Logano, Matt DiBenedetto, Ryan Blaney, and Kevin Harvick. But Logano was gone, won the first stage, and then started stage 2. What a mess. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. takes to the top 4 wide, bunching in the middle, Kyle Busch and Eric Almirola, who made contact. Almirola slides, Busch cuts down a tire, they plummet through the field. Ryan Preece takes it bottom of 5 wide, dives through the grass to try to avoid. Somehow we stayed green and nobody got too torn up, but what a mess it was. Kevin Harvick got out to the lead. Then Alex Bowman slid into P2 behind him. Alex Bowman is a legit title threat. Seriously, he's probably the best in the Cup Series right now, consistently up front, leading laps, dominating races. He is a real shot at the championship this year. Mark my words. Then we had a caution for the 00 of Quinn Houff and the 15 of Brennan Poole, both smacking the wall pretty hard. Bowman was able to get to the lead on that restart. Christopher Bell was fighting for a spot in the top 5. And again, like I said, that team really seems to have things starting to get figured out. Finally, it's taken them a long time, but finally they have speed. Bubba Wallace got into the top 10. Big tire smoke from the 6 of Ryan Newman. Again, William Byron, after that pit road contact, stuck out back. Miserable day for the pole sitter. Chase Elliott able to get into the top 5. We had some different names up front because 7th through 10th was Austin Dillon, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, and John Hunter Nemechek. So some different names running up front in the top 10 in this race. Alex Bowman wins stage 2 by 2.5 seconds. Pretty even restart in stage 3. Bowman was able to finally get clear to the lead. Then Joey Logano started to fade a little bit as the 4 of Kevin Harvick and the 9 of Chase Elliott both get by him. Harvick passes Bowman for the lead, but he wasn't really getting away. And Bowman was keeping him honest, keeping him 3 to 4 tenths. And then Bowman just got loose on the bottom of the track and hit the wall. His day is done. Just a mistake there, but it's a hard mistake to swallow again because he's probably the best in the series right now. Caution for Timmy Hill. They never said on the broadcast what it was for, so all I know is we had a caution for Timmy Hill. Harvick easily clear on that restart. Byron finally gets himself into the top 10 with a shot to have a decent finish. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., again, over-aggressive as he usually is, but very phenomenal run for everybody on JTG Doherty Racing. Much-needed effort for them. Chase Elliott got to P2, started running Kevin Harvick down. I was really hoping that much in the same way as Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr. last year, and I think it was Michigan, paired up and pushed each other to chase down the leader. I was really hoping second and third could do that again, but they didn't. Bubba Wallace, unfortunately, after a phenomenal run, got himself into the fence. But I knew this. We stayed green, and I knew this race was pretty much over without a caution. But actually, we didn't need one because Chase Elliott started running Kevin Harvick down. Harvick got messed up in lap traffic. I don't think he ever hit anybody, but the car got just messed up enough that the handling went to crap just like that. And Chase ran him down and just flew by him. I've never seen a car go away as quickly as Kevin Harvick's did. It was kind of incredible, actually. But Chase Elliott gets out to the lead, and I kept thinking, Chase, just remember the truck race. Do what you did there. You know that you can run your line mistake-free. Just do that. Ryan Blaney got out to P2. Chase Elliott had a major slide, gave up about a half second of his lead, but managed to hang on to it. Now he was pulling away from Blaney again. Stenhouse was closing the gap, coming to P3 and really gaining on the leaders, but 10 to go. Chase was gone, and Chase Elliott, redemption. He wins this race at Charlotte Motor Speedway over Denny Hamlin, who had gotten to second, Ryan Blaney, Ricky Stenhouse, and Kurt Busch, right as Michael McDowell spun at the checkered flag. But redemption for Chase Elliott again after two heartbreaker finishes at Darlington last week, getting wrecked by Kyle Busch, and then at Charlotte on Sunday with that bad pit call that cost him the race. Finally, Chase Elliott gets it done. Incredible race. Loved it. Again, like I said, these 500K races are exciting, entertaining, and just long enough. I'm a big fan. Let me go ahead and run through the finishing order of this race. Chase Elliott takes the win. Denny Hamlin second. Ryan Blaney third. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fourth. Fifth is Kurt Busch. Sixth, Joey Logano. Seventh, Brad Keselowski. Eighth, Austin Dillon. Ninth, Martin Truex Jr. 10th is Kevin Harvick. Jimmy Johnson 11th. William Byron 12th. They managed to snag decent finishes out of this race. John Hunter Nemechek 13th. 14th, Tyler Reddick. 15th, Matt DiBenedetto. 16th, Clint Boyer. 17th, Ryan Newman. 18th, Cole Custer. 19th, Corey LaJoie. 20th is Eric Almirola. 21st, Christopher Bell. 22nd, Chris Buescher. 23rd, Matt Kenseth. 24th, Ryan Preece. 25th, Michael McDowell. 26th, Eric Jones. 27th is Ty Dillon. Daniel Suarez, 28th. Kyle Busch, 29th. Miserable day for him. And as he so fittingly put it, when you run around squirrels, you're bound to get hit by a nut. Greg Galding, 30th. Alex Bowman, 31st. Quinn Houff, 32nd. Timmy Hill, 33rd. J.J. Yaley, 34th. B.J. McLeod, 35th. Josh Bilicki, 36th. Bubba Wallace, 37th. Brennan Poole, 38th. Joey Gase, 39th, and 40th is Garrett Smithley. So 4 really, really solid races at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to Bristol this week. It's Bristol, baby. I cannot wait. Bristol Motor Speedway is always the site of some phenomenal racing. I'm calling it. Matt DiBenedetto is going to win one of these races after coming so dang close last year. He said it's still too heartbreaking to even go back and watch for him. But mark my words, that 21, he's definitely going to win this year and snag win number 100 for the Wood Brothers. And I'm predicting it's going to be one of these races at Bristol Motor Speedway. So that's really all I've got. NASCAR, I keep saying it, but NASCAR is back. I could not be happier. We've got some really great racing going out on track, and some different names than we were expecting to be competitive. I mean, we always talk about the Kevin Harvicks and the Kyle Bushes and the Martin Truex Jr.'s. Martin Truex has yet to even get a top 5 finish this year. And so the young guys, Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott and guys like that, are rising to the occasion, and it's exciting to watch. So keep an eye out for all of those guys. It's going to be pretty exciting. So we're at Bristol this weekend, and I cannot wait to see what kind of racing we get on track there. So that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and a comment and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, you can follow the show on Twitter at Fifth Turn, also on Facebook, facebook.com/thefifthturn. You can send an email to thefifthturn@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys for watching. It's Bristol, baby. Take care.